Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Double. Today we're doing Masech Shabbos Parak Aleph Mishnah Vav, and we'll be starting a new Parak Yud Beis Bona. Mishnah Vav in Parak Aleph. Azorek v'niskar la'achar shiatza miyado. You threw something. You're going to throw Dalet Amos and Sharabim, or you're going to throw from Shliach to Sharabim. And then you threw B'shogeg. You didn't know it was Shabbos, or you didn't know it was Aser. And then after a while, mid-flight, you realize, hey, it's Shabbos, right? So the beginning is the Akira is b'shogeg, and the hanacha is b'mezid. Kalta acher, or let's say you threw it and someone else caught it. So that's shnaim she'asu, two people. One person did the akira, which is the hanacha. Kalta kelev, or you threw it and a dog jumped up and took it midair. So in this case, it's a difference where there's no hanacha over here because the kelev did something. It took it at mid-flight. Osha nisrafa, or it was burnt. Someone took a match and lit it mid-air. Pater, it's pater because there's no hanacha, right? There's three different reasons these halachas. The last two halachas is because there is no hanacha. You need two parts for hotza, an akira, or havaras dalanam, an akira and hanacha. Zarak la'asas chabura ben ba'adam mehema v'niskar ashal asas chabura pater. If you threw something at a person or an animal and you wanted to injure the person or the animal, all right. Again, this is telling you, even though it had kavana for chavala, right, which is usually punishable by when if you chova ba'adam, you chayav 5 types of things. Behema, you only chayav tashlumin. Nonetheless, since v'niskar ashel nasas chabura, right, again, but you did it b'shogi, you didn't know it was Shabbos, right, and then you remembered it was Shabbos. So when it landed, when it hit the person and did the hanacha, again, it's like we said before, the akira was b'shogeg, and the hanacha is mezeh. It has to be the beginning and the end. Akira and hanacha both will be b'shkaga. In either case, whether the akira or the hanacha was b'mezid and the other was b'shogeg, they both have to be shkaga because otherwise it's called a chatzi malacha. It's called a akira and hanacha. You can't combine a chi of chatas and a chi of skila, right? It has to be the akira and hanacha both have to be b'mezid, in which case you're chayav skila, or it have to be b'shogeg and you're chayav achatas. Very good, Beis Aleph. Abona kama yivne ve'hechayev. When you build on Shabbos, how much do you have to build? You chayev. You can put one screw in the wall, one nail in the wall. You chayev. Kol shehu, right? Putting one nail in the wall is considered binyan amasates, right? Let's say you take someone into construction and you take stones and you want to smooth them out so they fit in your building. Even smoothing it out on Shabbos is chayev. Amakav patish, right? Amakav patish literally means you hit with the hammer, right? You hit the hammer, and you put the nail in the coffin. That's what it means. The maga padish, you finish something, you put the nail in the coffin, right? Even though you're not building something, right? Maga padish. Let's say, right? There's a question. Binyan, we paskin. It's actually machlokas, but presumably paskin ain't binyan of a steer of the kalim. Binyan of a steer is only when it comes to the karka, to the ground, or something attached to the ground. But a coffin is not attached to the ground. So makah padish, even though you're not chayav mishum bona, you're chayav mishum makah padish. You finish making the coffin. Ma'atzed means taking a saw and cutting something. A kodeach, or you make a hole in the wall, right? You take a drill, you make a hole in the wall. Kol shehu, even a small hole, you're chayav. Zeh klal kol osa malacha malachtam is kayemes. Do malacha, and the malacha is not temporary; it will stay there. You did something productive. Chayav. Rishon Lila Omer Af Hamaka Bekornus Al Atzadan B'Shas Malacha Chayav Neishum Kumasakin Malacha. Rishon Lila adds, right? Some people when they want to make jewelry or they want to make thin pieces, they want to thin out metal, silver, gold. You want to thin out stainless steel, aluminum. You want to thin these things out, right? So when you want to thin out, you want it to get very thin. So when you have the hammer or whatever, so you want to make sure the hammer is very flat. The surface of the hammer is very flat, so you'll take it and you'll hit it on a sadan. Sadan really is like a sycamore tree. You hit it on the sycamore tree to flatten out the head of the hammer, right? So that when the head of the hammer is flat, so when you hit it on the metal, it'll make the metal flat. So even just hitting it on the sycamore tree to flatten out the hammer, that's already a malacha, even though the whole purpose is that it should be masakin the malacha when I hit on the metal afterwards. Nonetheless, according to Shimon Leal, once I smooth out the head of the hammer, that's already a malacha. We don't pass them like Shimon Leal. I'll talk with you and see on what the machlokas Chacham and Shimon Leal is. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned. Iyam and Sion coming up next.